So guys, when it comes to the Sweet Revenge trailer that dropped at San Diego Comic-Con 2025, we're going to be kind of hopping around from the Bloody Disgusting article here by John Squires, which was just released last night. And I'm going to jump on over to Twitter to show off some pictures and everything. You know, this is something that the first time I saw it, I was like, okay. And then the more and more I think about it and everything like that, I'm just like, I don't know. But let's go ahead and really dive into this. If you're watching live, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Some of you guys have already been chiming in as the stream has been going on. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts on, you know, the Sweet Revenge trailer, how you feel that looks. And of course, this mask that they revealed at Comic-Con that I have a tough time believing it's the same mask that was used in the trailer. So we'll get into all of that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you're watching after the fact. And let's jump on into the article that says Sweet Revenge. Jason Voorhees is officially back in first look at Jason Universe project. And yes, from John Squires. Let's take a look at that picture. That's still, I grabbed this still and put it into Photoshop and brightened it up just so I could kind of see what's going on here. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on, but I just wanted to see a little more detail because it is a dark image. But I just wanted to give you guys a better look at it before we go to the article. So John Squires says the Jason universe was on hand at San Diego Comic-Con tonight to show off a first look at Sweet Revenge, described as a short form vignette that will serve as the centerpiece of the franchise's bold 45th anniversary campaign. It marks the official return of Jason Voorhees for the first time in many years, 16 years plus. And you can watch the trailer for the project below. We will watch the trailer together, guys. Sweet Revenge will premiere on August 13th, 2025. So, guys, we really only have to wait like 2.5 weeks to check this thing out. So I think that's probably the most exciting thing about it, is that we know it's like pretty much ready to go. Because imagine if we felt the way we do about the mask, and, you know, we'll watch the trailer and talk about that, about our feelings. You know, at first blush, I thought it looked, you know, better than I expected. But imagine if we got all of this stuff and then we had to wait like months to actually watch it. So anyways, the article continues by saying Angry Orchard is sponsoring the upcoming vignette. Jason Universe teases, quote, fans will drop into a chilling weekend in the woods filled with blood-soaked surprises only Jason can deliver. And Sweet Revenge is directed by Mike P. Nelson, who did the Wrong Turn remake in 2021. And he also recently wrapped production on Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot with Rowan Campbell. And we'll get into that later. Let's see here. I would read this stuff again, but I've covered these exact quotes previously on the channel, guys. And I know a lot of you are awesome, loyal viewers, and you've checked all that out. So I'm not going to, you know, just repeat the quotes from Nelson, but to give you guys a summary, he's very excited to be a part of this. And, you know, as a kid, he was sneaking around trying to watch these movies. And here he is actually able to make a short with Jason Voorhees. So he's very, very pumped. So yeah, guys, we are going to jump into the trailer for Sweet Revenge. This is what I've heard, it's a 13-minute, there's all these 13 holes in the mask, releasing on August 13th. And it's a 13-minute vignette short film. And here we go. We're going to take a look at the trailer.
You all settled in?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, look at this.
You got a beautiful spot here.
The property's had a bit of a troubled past.
What kind of trouble?
Oh, you know, the usual story.
Got their apples.
What happened? Anyway, you kids have fun.
That's the trailer for Sweet Revenge. The short film vignette by Angry Orchard and the Jason universe. And I just wanted to, we might just pause on a few frames here. Some of this stuff, you know, I do want to give credit because I was watching Piz's stream last night and they did pause on a couple of these frames here. So this is where I kind of noticed, you know, after Jason knocks and then we get the classic Jason jump here. Oh, it's not going to let me show it when I pause. Those bastards. Maybe it will. Nope, it's not going to let me do it. I should have, you know what I should have done is I should have grabbed some freeze frames from that. But I didn't know that it wasn't going to let me really show everything. I like that shot right there. But when Jason jumps out of the water, clearly you can see that he doesn't have a mask on yet. So he gets the hockey mask, I would imagine, at some point during the short film here. But you can see a little bit of hair strands on the side of his head. And yeah, I think the thing with this trailer, and I'm just going to kind of repeat it as I talk about it for a little bit, and then I'll get into the chat with your guys' comments. Just to kind of echo something that I saw Vincent DeSanti say on Twitter. He's it's like, this is about as generic as it can be. You know, this is stuff we've all seen this before. There's nothing new and different. We got the Harbinger, you know, the groundskeeper guy that's like warning them that bad stuff happens here. The young people, you know, going out to camp at the cabin, and then Jason kills them just because they're there. And I think, you know, even though when I first watched this, I was like, hey, it doesn't look that bad. Like, I thought this could be a train wreck. And like, granted, yeah, that's true. It doesn't look that bad. It looks well made for what it is. But it doesn't look very creative. And I think that's kind of what's bumming me out. I'm still, of course, going to watch it. Hopefully they prove me wrong. But yeah, it just kind of looks like more of the same. Kind of looks like almost like the way the 09 remake, which I really love that remake for what it is. It's kind of a greatest hits of the first 4 movies. I feel like we're kind of getting that here as well. So if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this trailer and your thoughts on my opinion. Am I way off? I don't know. In Pizzal's stream yesterday, I think it was Joe Reese. Hopefully I got that name right. I think it was Joe Reese that said the eye holes on the mask look like the eye holes on the K&B H2O mask. And now Greg Nicotero worked on this Jason mask. And let's take a look at some shots here. So here we are on Twitter. This is Hunter Bolding. This is like the first look at the Spirit Halloween Jason Universe mask. This looks better than what they actually showed at the panel. This looks closer to what we're actually seeing, I think, in this trailer. But look at those weird ass, like, sunglasses shaped eye holes, man. They are huge and just so, why are they shaped like glasses that are very far apart? I'm going to bring up the K&B Michael Myers mask from H2O because I want to show you guys that to compare and contrast. See, look at the eye holes here. See, Exhibit A, and then let's swing back on over here. Exhibit B. Do you see what I'm saying about this? Greg Nicotero is an amazing visual effects artist. He is one of the best to ever do it. He's got to be, you know, I would say top 10. I don't know if he's quite top 5, but he's got to be top 10 of all time. And he's one of the most successful visual effects artists as well because he's moved on to directing and everything. But what is with these weird rectangular eye holes? I just don't get it. Again, Michael Myers, H2O, K&B mask. This is from the shot that was replaced in the final version of the film. But guys, if you watch this thing, there are plenty of shots where they kept this horrible powder white alien mask. It is just bizarre. And then going back to the Jason mask, very similar. Although I will say this about this mask, even though I don't like the eye holes, I do like, maybe there's a little too much nicks and cuts all over the mask, but I like that it actually has some texture to it because, you know, when we go down here and we take a look at this thing. So apparently this is the mask that Jason is wearing in the trailer, and I really don't see it. This thing looks like an eggshell, or it looks like it's made out of bone or something like that. It doesn't have very much texture at all. Yeah, really bizarre. And then the side look, it's like it's got no nose. I don't know. It looks like it's made out of clay, or it's like ceramic. It's just something weird about this mask, and I don't know if this is really the mask they used, or if this is just something that, you know, if they took a version of this and scuffed it up for that trailer or for that movie, because it doesn't look super similar to me, honestly. So here's another tweet from Hunter Bolding. It says Robbie Barsamian, I believe he is the Horror Inc. guy. Robbie Barsamian says a new movie and a new game are coming from the Jason universe. And I believe, Antonis, you were, you know, asking about this earlier, you know, when can we expect to see a movie from Jason universe? And yeah, I think 2027, probably the earliest we're going to get one. If they put one out in 2026, that would be crazy. There are 3 Friday the 13th in 2026. There's February, March, and I believe November. It's possible they could have something ready by then, but I don't know. To me, that seems like maybe pushing it. Let's see how many Friday the 13th, or when we have Friday the 13th in 2027. August of 2027, so it'd be a year removed from the Sweet Revenge official release, you know, of that short film. It would be the first Friday the 13th in 2027. So maybe November 2026. Although they better get going on it. If that's really what they want to do, they gotta get on that right now. But yeah, guys, let me know what you're thinking about the new movie. Those shots of the mask, like, what's going on? Do you guys think the Spirit Halloween mask looks better than the one they showed off? This like big goofy looking thing. And yeah, let me know what you think about you know, a new movie and the video game. And when do you think the movie is going to come out? So let me know in the chat if you're watching live, and if you're watching after the fact, let me know down in the comments section. And I'm going to jump back on over and see what you guys are saying here. I'm just making sure there's not something else that we might be missing. Yeah, this person says, okay, that's a great shot. It's very dark. It's very difficult to see what's going on here. And I guess, you know, it's like one of those things where, yeah, it's going to look good because you can't see much. And again, this mask looks, if you look up near the eyebrow and everything, near where you can see that chevron, that's like the unibrow chevron that everyone's calling it, it looks like there's some damage, like it's textured. It even looks like the cheek below the eye there, below the goofy rectangular eye hole. It looks like the cheek has some texture too. So again, I know I've said it a couple times. I'm just going to say it one more time. I think it's really weird that they showed off this like very clean version of the mask when clearly that doesn't look like, this isn't the exact prop they used when they, you know, shot the short film. And guys, just to give you an idea, this is a NECA mask that I have. It's nice and sturdy. It's thick. It's got a thickness to it. It has a bunch of signatures on it now because Mad Monster happened, but it's like, this looks better than that thing. And I get it. They probably have to make up their own thing. So I understand that. I just think they could go a little less goofy, or at least bring the prop that was used in the film to make it, you know, show off that grit and everything you've got. So yeah, guys, to follow up on that tweet about Robert Barsamian talking about the video game and the film in development, we've got an article here by Alex DiVincenzo of Bloody Disgusting that confirms that. And we've got some quotes from the San Diego Comic-Con 2025 panel. So I want to check those out because I haven't seen any video or footage or anything like that from the panel. So let's get an idea of what the folks on the panel are saying here. There we got one of those shots. Clearly you can tell here that Jason is not wearing the mask. So there you go. But the article here by Alex DiVincenzo says the Sweet Revenge teaser wasn't the only Friday the 13th reveal at San Diego Comic-Con last night. Horror Inc. Vice President Robbie Barsamian confirmed that a new sequel film and video game are in early development. Quote, I can tell you that a new sequel movie and new sequel game are at the top of our list. It's where most of our energy is going right now. And I can tell you, finally, we're in a position to deliver on that. And then he continues by saying, while we're not officially announcing with our partners today, both are coming. They're both in the works and they're both coming. So guys, maybe November 2026 is realistic. If they're already developing the stories and if they're already, you know, getting ready to go into pre-production, I would imagine that since they've been letting this stuff simmer, they might be able to hit the ground running once they hit pre-production. So maybe. And then the article says, as you can see in the clip below, the audience erupted at the news. It's been 16 long years and counting since Jason Voorhees graced the big screen. While we wait for a new film, the prequel series Crystal Lake is currently in production from A24 and Peacock. And while Brad Caleb Kane wasn't able to attend in person due to filming, he did send an exclusive video message featuring some behind-the-scenes footage. So there we go. That was just mentioned in the chat, the footage that they showed. So maybe we'll get that released by Brad Caleb Kane on his Instagram, you know, here within the next few days. But let's take a listen to this little clip here from the Bloody Disgusting Twitter, and we're going to jump on over here. Let's see if the crowd really does erupt.
I can tell you that a new sequel movie, a new sequel game are at the top of our list. It's where most of our energy is going right now. And I can tell you finally we're in a position to deliver on that. And so while we're not officially announcing with our partners today, both are coming. So they're both in the works.
Okay, I don't know if they really erupted, but you know, they certainly did react. They're very happy, as they should be. Okay, so there we go. From the man himself, we got some info there on the new Friday the 13th video game and sequel film. And they do say sequel film, so it sounds like it is not going to be a reboot. It is going to, I don't know, be a sequel of what? We have no idea. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But guys, I'm thinking that if they're announcing that now, July of 2025, and you know, we've got a Friday the 13th in November of 2026, I think that's realistic. I think that timeline is very realistic. So yeah, we've talked Friday the 13th in the Jason universe to death. But I'm curious to see what else you guys have to say before we move on here.